listening to Inclusive AF with Jackie Clayton and Katie Van Horn.
Hi, this is Katie Van Horn.
And this is Jackie Clayton.
And we are in Arizona today and hanging out. And what do you want to say about this?
We are very excited.
We are very
to be here
excited
and together and share.
to have some quality time together. Like we're so close that we're sharing AirPods today. That might be weird for people, but it's cool. Everything's fine. Don't worry. Earwax, we share it. It's fine.
That's right. That's
Everything's good. So we are recording from Arizona. Jackie is spending the week. We're having an Inclusive AF podcast retreat.
That's right.
If one will go with that theory.
That's right.
Or the other way that we can kind of call it is the Arizona Eat-A-Thon.
That's what I think it's more of. It's more like the
Try all
of
the
the
things.
food and art show.
Yeah, there you go. The food and event or whatever, something. Okay, so Jackie.
Yes.
I have had two people this week who have asked me the question.
Mm-hmm.
You're a white woman, a straight white woman doing this work.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Maybe not with that tone, because my tone is very casual.
Yeah.
They were a little bit more enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
So what would you say to that?
First, I would say,
I would like you to speak for all the white women.
yeah, sure. I'm like, well, nobody's ever said that to me. But I feel like, and this is what I talk about, like when you're passionate about diversity and inclusion and you're passionate about the different things, sometimes we're only looking at one aspect of diversity and inclusion and don't understand that we need like allies is what we say on one side, but it's really facilitators through this work to help people through the journey. And it really doesn't matter your sex and race, because we're not talking, granted, we're trying to get other people to communicate, to get to know each other and take my experiences out as much as possible. Otherwise, I'm going to just teach the group how to be close to me.
Right.
Right. You know, like if I said, you know, it would be a great idea if you had Corona at your event.
That would be
great for me.
On you.
Right. So I can't just speak about myself. And I think that's the hardest, is that they can't take themselves out of it.
Right.
You know, like the people who program everything that's going on for NASA or for SpaceX, they don't actually fly the plane. And so you could say, well, you're not an astronaut.
Well, yeah, it's definitely not an astronaut if they're flying a plane, Jackie.
Well, it could be. They do have, they flew a car. So, I mean, with the right engineering.
As an astronaut, if you're flying a plane, you are not an astronaut any longer. You are then just a pilot.
To be clear, I don't recruit for NASA or SpaceX. And I think I just ruined any opportunity to start working there. But you know what I mean. Oh, first name basis.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Musk. But I think you know what I mean. Like you have a different space, like where you're looking, your job is specifically to facilitate. And so the answer to me is that I am here to help others. I've gone through this journey. I recognize it can be hard. There's multiple stages, some that you will be able to identify with and some that I need you to be able to empathize with. Just like me, I have situations. And P.S., you don't know me. Like, you don't know my story. Whoever the two people were.
Excuse me?
No, you fully know it. But you know what I mean? Like, if somebody came up and said that to me.
You don't know me.
Fool. You disown me? Cool. That
is your response?
Wow. Yeah.
Oh.
Hoping that they're like baby boomers or Gen X. Otherwise,
yeah,
no understanding.
Yeah. This is also where we go back to the people that don't know that LL Cool J and Ice-T are actually rappers. They just know them as actors.
That's right.
So just
Queen
as an
Latifah,
FYI,
same.
We just threw out some business for you. Just go Google that. So that's a great answer, because I always go with the answer of, hey, I want to bring other voices to the table.
Right.
And so part of what I like to do, as you know, is invite friends along when I go and work with a client or when I go and do stuff, because I think it's much more fun to have friends along on the journey. But then also I think it is because you're not going to be able to cover every lived experience because every single person is different. Even, I mean, like it's again, that whole monolith of different stereotypical characters that people have created in their head.
Right.
Versus no, each one of us has different stories and different things to tell. And so it just makes it more interesting.
I mean, I'm glad nobody's come up to me and said that, but nobody has ever come up to me and said, how can you speak about inclusion when you're not a member of the AAPI community or you're not a member of the LGBTQ community? Like, you know, nobody's ever said that to me.
Right.
And so, I mean, you know what would be fun, but only fun for us and others in the space if you said, tell me more about that. Because I'd really like to know exactly what what they're saying is coming from their own trauma.
Right.
And I think that's where the experiences in this work, similar to like if you were in some other roles, you have to take yourself out of it, take the emotional response out of it, and get to what's going on.
So just got an alert on my phone that I need to stand up.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, because I've been standing up for like the last 15 minutes preparing.
Not
to
enough.
start recording. I guess Apple does not believe me. So that's working out. Okay. So what has been your favorite part of this past week? So we've been together since Saturday. It is Wednesday.
Yep.
What has been your favorite part of this week so far?
Besides Penny, the dog, I think I just think being with you is fun.
I would agree with that. I think the conversations we're having, because you know, we're not talking about work 24 hours a day, of course, but 22-ish. We do sleep every once in a while. But no, I have enjoyed the conversations that we're having, because I think this is also like when we talk about friendships, and you know, everyone that has listened to this knows that part of the reason why we started this podcast was just to kind of bounce ideas off each other and be able to say, what's your experience here? Or what, you know, what has this been like for you? Or like I just did, what's your answer to this question? How would you answer that kind of thing? And so it's been fun to just actually spend some time and have some QT.
We've actually haven't seen each other for a number of years. I mean, we see each other like every other day, but we haven't been in the same place for a long time. But I think that's going to change. Boom.
Because we're going to see each other again in May.
Yes.
So we're both going to be at Work Human, and we will put some discount codes in the show notes. Best HR conference, I think, that there is.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah. And they have some of the best speakers I think I've ever heard from. And such a diverse group.
And coffee.
And really good coffee. And it's in Atlanta. So like we can go see Candy.
That's right.
From the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and go to OLG, that restaurant she owns. So, you know, I think that's like the wait is like 2 hours or something. So that's easy peasy.
Yep.
So who are you looking forward to seeing at Work Human?
You know, Simone
Biles.
No, yes. And the other one.
I don't even think.
I'm not even used to that. You just told me that Simone Biles.
Yeah. Simone Biles was just announced like yesterday or something like that.
Yeah.
But Dan Levy.
Levy. So
I don't know how you pronounce it.
We'll find out.
So fun fact, kids. So Jackie did mention that her favorite part has been Penny. Penny is somewhat joining the podcast today because she is trying to figure out what in the world I'm doing, because I don't normally sit in these chairs to record. And of course, Jackie is not normally beside me. So she's very confused as to what the hell is happening here. But it's all going to work out. She's going to go sit on top of the couch as one does. So diversity wise, what's cooking in your world?
Oh my. So what was cool. So, and I think this is great. I just want to help. We're always looking how to celebrate different things and have different activities. And so at Textio, where I am, we started doing the 4 Fs. So it's food, fun, film, and facts every month. And so I think that was great. We watched Inclusion for a Trans Awareness Day. We watched some various other movies, and then we're doing that for next month. So that's been really cool. And I really think it's really important to celebrate like all the things. People get really nervous, and so we made it really optional, but gave people lots of different things that they could do, suggestions for people on their own. We keep a channel where it's like this day is this, or outside links, Eventbrite, and stuff like that. So that's been really fun, and people have been appreciative of that. Look, I told you. The other thing is we had the
You're good.
So next month is Arab American month, Arab American Awareness Month. And so we're doing that and celebrating again, watching movies and trying to get some acknowledgement there. And then we also did our first Inclusion Council, which is really great, of getting, people's understanding. And sorry, folks, like anybody who can see me, like my ears don't fit these things. I hope you can still hear. I know it's a whole thing.
They'll be able to hear you.
Good.
You just won't be able to hear me.
I can hear you though.
No, not the same.
But I mean, I think that's been good. Seeing that has been nice. And I'm starting to see more thoughtful awareness in diversity circles, and maybe seeing some voices I haven't heard before. I'm starting to, maybe it's just the algorithm, but I'm starting to see more things come to the surface with Ketanji Brown, and there's another part of her name, Lawrence. So Lawrence Ketanji, I forgot what her name, what the full thing is.
Why are you doing this?
I'm not trying. I mean, listen, I don't have it in front of me. I'm human like everyone else. But seeing more conversations and seeing how
Jackson.
Yes.
Ketanji
Brown Jackson. Where did the words come? But I've seen more conversations about like the acknowledgement about how Black women are being treated. And it's been good to have more conversations around that.
Yeah.
What have you been seeing?
Hey, everybody. Got a quick question for you. Is your job easy, stress-free, and full of rainbows and sunshine every single day? Yeah, I'd say that's a big fat no. Hi, I'm David Noe, host of Speakeasy HR, presented by Payroll Partners, and proud to be part of the Work-Defined community. Take a step down into my Speakeasy live on LinkedIn and YouTube, where we tackle HR and business challenges through raw, uncut, unfiltered conversations. This is HR like you've never heard it before. Bold, real, and full of practical takeaways. Real guests, bold insights, authentic conversations that drive change. Catch every episode on demand through your favorite podcast platform or all the content at speakeasyhr.com.
So ChargeNet Stations is working on our values. And that has been interesting because I got a group together from the team, opt-in group. And it's been interesting to hear like what's important to them in an organization. Because I think, one of the things that the refrain I've heard from the leadership team and from so many of the folks that have joined the organization is, we know what bad culture looks like. And we've all experienced that. So how do we make sure we have a good experience? How do we make sure that, it's a situation where folks can feel like, hey, this place is safe, this place is good, and we're going to do what's right. So that's the thing. I think it's just like the culture pieces, looking at the values, and then that's kind of, I think for most people, it's their kind of North Star of who they are as an organization. And being able to look at word choices and how important word choices are, again, because that's something that I think obviously you do quite a bit with Textio, but it's also fun for me because it's like, okay, should we say this or that? And Jackie knows this. I've been asking her what does this mean? If you hear this, what does that mean to you? And if you hear that, what does this mean to you? And I've been doing that a few times this week as I've been wordsmithing our values, but it's just been really fun because I think the group that we pulled together to work on this is truly vested in these are our rules of the road, if you will, moving forward.
I think people are finding out how important it is. I mean, especially when you get to start from the beginning, and with the understanding that it could change a lot of times, but you do have to be thoughtful. That's something that can rally behind. And I'm starting to wonder, is culture the right word, or is there another word that we need to start using instead of culture?
I don't know, but I mean, I think, I told you this because I think the other piece is I am starting from scratch with so many of the HR function, HR policies, processes, tools, blah, blah. And so I'm also having this like existential crisis of so many of the norms that we have in the workplace are based on a Euro white male dominated industrial revolution dominated situation, like the 40-hour work week, the 5-day work week, all of these different things. And does that make sense anymore? And, and that's one piece, even just, the time people spend at work and how they spend that time, all that good stuff. But I think it's also been cool because it's been interesting to look at like flexible work arrangements, and we're a remote company. So that's been cool too, just to be able to say like, how are we going to do this? So one of the things we just recently started is a stipend for folks for their internet. And, it is a simple thing and it's not, super expensive for the company, but it's a nice perk because not everyone's doing it. And it is something that's so critical. The people who do have a good internet, obviously from an employer perspective, I'm like, no, I want you to be able to get online and get work done. Right. But also, I want folks to have like, to not have to think it's all the stuff that we talk about of like people not having to worry about certain things so they can just get work done.
I think we should talk about that because one thing I have seen, speaking of which, Textio is fully distributed, ChargeNet is fully distributed, but I have seen people who really want to go back to work, really thriving, they really would thrive in an environment where they can go back to work and have opted to leave Textio because they wanted to go into the office, which has gotten some people really nervous. Like, what should we do? And so like the culture that people had pre-pandemic, especially going back to the office, you have to have a different one. And how do we manage inclusion if people get together? Because people want to get together for happy hour or a meeting. And it's like, well, how do we make sure that they don't get better treated? And those are some of the things that we've been looking at too. And that's been kind of interesting. You have to put the values around that so that people know what we expect from the people who work here, even though we might not see you every day and you're not sitting in our office every day.
Yeah. And I want to delve into that a bit because I just want to clarify kind of what we're talking about here. So there's been a lot of research that's been done about the fact that people, it's the kind of squeaky wheel gets the grease situation, or the person that you see every day in the office, that water cooler talk, some of those different pieces, when you have that interaction, there is a bias as a leader that person is doing more or accomplishing more because you can see them in the office, you can physically see what they're doing throughout the day, versus when someone's working at home, you don't get as many of those touch points, or you may not have as many of those touch points. And so that there is this bias of, oh, they maybe aren't doing as much, or I'm not seeing them as much. And so the promotions, the new projects, you go to the person standing next to you, not the person that you have to get on a phone and call and go, oh, by the way, hey, let's talk about this. And so that research, I think, has been really critical. And I think it is really important to think about that, because when you have these distributed teams, how do you account for that? How do you think about that in a different way? And how do you make sure that everyone has a level playing field and it really is focused again on outcomes and on what people are delivering? It's important, and it's something that I think all of us need to be aware of, because it's not gonna, this is the new.
That's right.
It's not going to change back. And I think we're going to see these hybrid work arrangements, and then, you were saying about getting together, and it's also the scariness of people getting together, and, are people going to get sick? I just had one of the folks I was on a call with today just tested positive, and it's like, okay, it's just going to keep happening.
Correct.
It's not going
that
away.
Happened to me. I had somebody that tested positive, and it was like, oh dear, like, unfortunately, I think all of us, you have moments where we're forgetting, we're seeing less people being less cautious, and you almost forget. And then somebody else was just sick, and it was like, how did
Well, I know that when I started coughing on Monday morning, you were like, get away from me. Don't talk to me. Go put on a mask.
That's right.
And then you sat in the guest bedroom all day and didn't talk to me. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
scared.
it was because you were scared, right?
Yeah.
Just kidding. That didn't really happen. I made that up. Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think this is, again, it's the new norm, or, it's not norm even. It's the new. So we've had some interesting guests in the last couple of episodes. And any reflections on any of the guests you want to talk about?
I feel like I really enjoyed all of the guests, but Maya stood out, and thinking about how we market to candidates and potential candidates, because they, had the marketing company and working for Gen Z. And it made me think like we are in a different generation where people can do work, get opportunities and jobs, and you've never seen them. They haven't been a candidate. And we haven't started talking about how are we going to do that? What is going to be the future of work from that perspective? How do we reach out and connect, and what that is going to do from an employer brand, not just a marketing standpoint, but what do we have to do at work to be able to attract people? And then I just heard that like right now in the workplace, the half almost the statistic they threw out there, and I haven't checked it, was that at this point half of the people available in the workforce is like is it a millennial? Is a millennial right now?
Okay.
And so it's like you got to hurry up and make sure that you're able to attract, because I think you have your people who have become famous, they've never filled out a job application before.
Right. But I think that also harkens to some of the stuff that we've talked about or seen kind of in the HR circles that we're in, of are resumes even necessary now? Or I actually just had a conversation with the hiring manager about cover letters, which I know for anyone that's in talent acquisition, hiring, recruiting, you're like, cover letters, let me burn those to the ground and never see them again. It always makes me chuckle though when someone writes a cover letter, because I just know like Adam Karpiak and some of the others are like, stop it now. But anyways, like I think that's such a Maya was great. I think she was really, really fun. And it's interesting to me, I think, and I don't know if this is because I'm in a different generation where I still don't believe in my heart of hearts that there's that much difference in the generations from a soul's desire or what you want. Like, I think everyone is like, I want to do great work. I want to make an impact. I want to do good things, all that. And so I don't think that is something that's of a certain generation. It is just that approach. Like, how do you market to them differently? How do you think about what they want and what's going to be,
and where do we put it? How do I look attractive to an organization? How does my company look? Where are they looking for information about us?
Right.
And I think about Clay, who is like in that generation, like age 21, about to go on to like the next phase in the adult journey, and where they are most active on social. And then it's like the next generation, all the generations have different social platforms that they're more into. And so you have to like cast that net, but then it also feeds back to inclusion, where you need those different kinds of voices at the table to make sure that, even though we love all of our listeners, we know that the majority of our listeners come to us from two places, right? Like where we present our podcast. And there's lots of different places where we could be sitting out. Are you blushing?
No, I was gonna I thought you were meaning like industry. And so I was gonna say something like really inappropriate, like they are this and this. And then I was like, no. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut, because nothing I say could probably be good in that regard. But good times. But yeah, no, agreed. Like, I think it is, our audience is a certain group of individuals, but I also would say like, it is funny to me, and I think you and I have talked about this a little bit, is the folks that are listening and that we know are listening. There's been some like random folks that have reached out, which we love. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That we're like, oh, okay. I would not have thought of you as a listener, or, someone that might be interested in listening to this. But I also think it's really great because, the whole point was to say, hey, maybe other folks can learn from this, or this will be helpful, or whatever. What questions do you have for me today? Like, I'm trying to think of like, what else do I need to know about Jackie Day? What else? What else do I need? Oh, by the way, we did decide, we made an executive decision before we started recording that we were going to have a cocktail. So
That's right.
today's podcast is sponsored by Corona and Cayman Jacks. For those of you that know Jackie can guess who's drinking what.
Yeah. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm pretty sure you have like a Corona subsidy, right? Like that is like just part of your budget in the house.
It was like my biggest fear during the pandemic.
Is that you would run out of Corona?
That's right.
Mine was that I would run out of Tito's. Not to fear, folks. All of my friends became very aware of that and made sure there was never an issue. They're like, Katie, we know you need certain things to feel okay and be okay.
And we did not run out of Corona.
No, we did not. No, Tito's is here still.
Yep.
Okay, so I would love to know what else you want to do in Arizona.
I'm excited. I just like being here. It just looks like a postcard. I love seeing the palm trees and seeing the sun is really close though. Did you know?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this. So it is 91 degrees right now. And I just, as I was sitting here, looked over and saw that Jackie was getting a little glistening situation going on. So I just cranked the AC because I don't pay attention because I'm out in the office.
I know. I was like, she's going to know. And I don't want her to yell at me for turning it all the way down. I was like, let me see if I can handle it just a little bit more.
You can't do it from there.
No, well, I was going to like, oh, good.
Yeah.
I would have
Don't
broken
touch
it.
it. Yeah. Don't touch anything. It's all by my phone. I'm becoming a completely phone.
By your phone?
Phone, and I won't say her name, but that person that you say stuff to that does stuff for you.
Yeah.
If you say her name, though, she will come to life, and we don't want her to right now.
No.
But that's my game plan, is everything in here will be at some point smarter than me. What's your favorite podcast right now, Jackie?
Hi, I'm George LaRocque, and I'm looking forward to exploring the critical trends shaping the future of work and technology with you over on the Work Tech podcast. Now, this podcast is a little different. I bring together industry leaders, innovators, and investors, and we go deep into market intelligence that matters to HR pros and tech providers alike. So give the Work Tech podcast a listen here on the Work Defined Podcast Network, and please subscribe if you like it. See you there.
I've only, not only, but the main one that I listen to is Generation Y. And I also love Crazy and the King and Chad and Cheese. Those are the ones that I listen to on a regular basis.
Yeah. Crazy and the King, obviously, those are friends of the podcast that we love dearly, Torrin and Julie. And I have been listening to a couple things. So you all know I like the murder podcast or like true crime podcasts.
I shouldn't be concerned, right?
No. Okay. So I'm listening to one right now that is very disturbing and very sad. And I think I'm going to have to like pause for a little bit and not listen to it anymore, but it's called Believe Her. And it is about a woman who was abused for many years and took her husband's life and is now in jail. And it is a very sad situation and horrible story. But the other one I'm listening to is Smartless. So I want you to picture, if you will, if you would just give me a moment, Jackie. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So Jason Bateman.
Yes.
Love that man.
Same.
Ozark, etc. Like he's been in a ton of stuff.
Family Ties.
Arrested Development. He wasn't in Family Ties.
He did come in from time to time.
Okay, I'm like, Justine was, but he was not.
No.
Okay, but Arrested Development.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his co-stars on Arrested Development is Will Arnett.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second host. And the third host is Just Jack, Sean Hayes. So it's the three of them, and they interview celebrities, and it is quite possibly the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's called Smartless. That's funny.
And so my sister Emily and I went down to Mexico a few weeks ago, as you know, and we listened on the way there. And on the way back, I couldn't get reception while we were still in Mexico to pick up. I should have downloaded some of the episodes, but I forgot to. And so she was like, why aren't you playing more of those? And I'm like, I can't get it to work. You have to wait till we're back in the US. So it all worked out in the end. Everything was fine. But yeah, so Smart List is another one of my favorites. So tomorrow we're going to go, I think we're going to go to the season opener of the Diamondbacks and D-backs. Jackie laughs every time we say D-backs, but we'll let that.
I'm like in the 6th grade.
That's for a different podcast and a different day.
D-backs.
And Penny has just decided to leave the house to go chase down a crow that's in the backyard. So that's going to work out well.
Yeah, we wish her.
We wish her the very best. What else? What else you got?
That's the thing that's been really just encompassing is what I'm looking for. I still think I am really waiting to see what's going on. Like the Great Resignation isn't over, right? So that's the whole thing is like, I don't think any of us have the recipe for what to do at our organizations to make sure that people feel like that they belong and included, let alone, looking at retention or I don't think anybody knows.
Mhm.
And I don't think candidates know or the recruiting or talent or HR. And so that has been kind of a steady stream of anxiety, an under rumbling of anxiety.
I don't think so. I'm just going to say this. For me, it hasn't been, and I'm knocking on wood when I say that.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that like some of the things, and I know you're doing this as well, some of the things that we're building process-wise into talent acquisition,
Mm-hmm.
recruiting, whatever you want to call it, if you're being transparent,
Mm-hmm.
if you're being clear and concise and not telling people a story and not making up some baloney about what the job's really like,
Yep.
people are gravitating to truth and gravitating to what's the rest of the story. And so, yes, I know the Great Resignation is still happening, but I think there is this awakening of companies is the way I look at it more of stop being jerk faces and doing not good things, do the right thing, and then people will come.
And I think we're doing all the things.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I just want to know, I think it's very, and I say the undercurrent of anxiety where it's like, is it enough? And are we doing those things? And I feel it's the same thing that, just making sure that we're doing the right thing, but we're doing everything we know to do. And so it's just kind of learning. I started taking master classes. Did you master class?
Mm-hmm.
Started looking at some things about like trying to figure out which ones to do and looking at leadership and stuff like that. And just maybe it's just information overload.
Yeah. I've decided not to do any continuous learning. I'm just going to just
stop learning.
Stop learning.
Good idea.
And I'm too tired. I don't want to anymore. No. So it's funny because you're saying like taking master classes. I feel like I'm in a flood zone of learning because I'm like, okay, well, how do I do this? Like, how do I build every single piece of this correctly to make sure that we don't have a weird culture?
Well, tell everybody what you're doing because they might not know.
So I'm the chief people officer for ChargeNet Stations, which is a small startup out of San Diego. We are doing EV charging stations, electric vehicle charging stations. And one of the cool parts about it is that we are focused on working with QSRs or quick serve restaurants. So it's for, these automakers that are now building cars that are in different price points and making the EV car, electric vehicle more accessible. It's the infrastructure around that. So if we could put charging stations into a Taco Bell or whatever it might be, and have people have that infrastructure in place that maybe I don't have a garage, maybe I have an apartment and so I only have a space on the street, so I can't put a charger there, whatever it might be, having these charging stations in different environments that people can go get a quick charge, grab some tacos and be on their merry way. And like, because of like the whole idea of it, I think it's just a way to democratize the whole electric vehicle process. Mm-hmm. But also because of that, and because of kind of what the mission of the company is to make EVs more accessible because you're not worried about where am I going to get my next charge. That's the culture we're trying to build too. It's a very accessible culture, a very inclusive culture. And so I'm just setting up like all of the things.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, it really is. And I swear that's the thing. It's like every single morning I'm like, wait, what do oh yeah, I had, because you do like forget it. Like when you don't have anything set up, you're like, oh yeah, I guess I do need to tell people about what is unlimited,
Everything.
unlimited PTO. What does that mean? And how do we think about
That's
it?
right.
But it has also been fun because again, I've been able to do stuff that I've wanted to do in a lot of different organizations or have recommended people do in their different organizations. So that's kind of been cool.
It's like all those things where it's like, we've been practicing this. We've been talking about this. We've been trying to do those things. You know, Penny's not coming.
I know. I was trying to get her to come on camera, but she's being shy. It's weird because normally she's so. Jackie has learned this week that Penny's a little bit of a wuss. God bless her. She's a little scaredy cat. Except for when it comes to the cats, in which case she thinks she's big woman on
Top
campus.
cat.
Top dog.
That's right.
She's top dog. Anyhow. All right. So folks, thank you so much for listening. We are going to sign off for now. You might see us back here in these same outfits. It's hard to say. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to figure it out, but we also might go live, I think, on Friday,
Yep.
just for some fun. So you might see us. I mean, obviously you will have seen us already when this drops, but we're gonna just mix it up, I think.
Yeah. Keeping it fresh.
Keep it fresh and so clean. All right, this is Katie Van Horn.
This is Jackie. Clean, Clayton.
Clean, so fresh and so clean. Ain't nobody don't ask me. This is the Inclusive AF podcast. Bye.
Bye.